Welcome back to Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster. We are in the middle of the Chaos Shrine, and we defeated our rematches with Lich and Marlith last time, and now we are going to, well, we presumably have Kraken and Tiamat left to fight. I still wonder about those altars, though. It almost feels like there has to be something more to them, but I don't know. And yeah, considering that we've got a lot of sea enemies here, I assume that, so let me just check something. Are you able to use Thor's hammer or not? Oh, you can. Okay, you just have to go your own equipment. Makes sense. But yeah, I presume that this is the Kraken's domain. I don't know how much Thor's hammer is going to do, because the last time I had the White Mage use it, it was just kind of the White Mage. Noor. That's his name. But yeah, the last time I had him use it, it actually does pretty well here, although a couple of pesky snakes survived. And there we go. Yeah, it looks like there's not a whole lot here, but there's like a... Doesn't look like there's a door here that just kind of goes nowhere, and I'm curious to check it out just to see if it really does go nowhere or if there's something over here. Because if it does go nowhere, it actually just makes me think that maybe it's just a product of them just mirroring the layout of everything. Like when they were designing this dungeon map, they were like, okay, let's just copy-paste, you know, most of this room. And as a result, you get that whole area that goes nowhere because it's attached to a staircase on the left-hand side, and now it's the right-hand side and there's no staircase. Yeah, like, there have been a few interestingly designed dungeons in this game. I really like the water shrine. The Flying Fortress is a bit awkward, having gone through there again to try and spawn the War Mech, because it's, like, if you don't care about chests, you can just get through it with almost no effort at all. Like, the exploration aspect to it only really matters if you care about chests and things like that. I want to see what's in that central part, but it might also be nothing. And then you've got dungeons like this, where it just feels like a lot of these rooms are really big and don't have a whole lot in them. Whereas, like, then you had, like, Gulga Volcano, or Mount Gulg, or however you say it, and then the ice cavern is probably my favorite dungeon in this game, currently. It's just, it has, like, its optional rewards are really, really useful, because they're, like, armor that helps you against fire, and, like, if you go, and you can potentially do that before the fire dungeon, as well as an ice sword, which also, well, as well as a fire sword, which helps against ice enemies there, and then, yeah, so it's kind of cool. Like, exploration in that dungeon feels rewarding, and you have to sort of kind of loop back around. It has a convenient, like, instant exit point as well after you've gone through everything. It's just, I like that dungeon overall, but for a final dungeon, the Chaos Shrine just feels kind of weird in the sense that it's just like, I don't know, it's these really big floors with not a lot of reason to actually explore them, because there's just not much that's optional, like in the way of chests and stuff. And if you didn't have a map, it'd be even worse, because you'd be just running all over the place and just hoping that there would be a chest in a far-off corner of the map, and then it turns out that, nope, you went all that way for nothing, because there's no chest. So, yeah, again, I don't know how I feel about this as a final dungeon. I don't think it's particularly great, but... And again, I would say, oh yeah, this was their first game ever, but at the same time, you know, this game does have some pretty good dungeons in it. And speaking of dungeons and, you know, being good or not so good, well, yeah, I've heard about some of the optional dungeons in, like, the Dawn of Souls version, and, apparently they're, like, 40 or so floors sometimes, and to me that feels weird in a game that usually prides itself on being pretty concise. Like, one thing that I've liked about this game is that, like, a lot of it hasn't been overtly long. It's never really, I mean, I hate to use the phrase overstayed its welcome, but that's what I feel this game has not really overstayed its welcome, and I feel like 40 floor dungeons really don't fit with what this game is, or what it's trying to be. Now, I wonder if I can use Temper, and if that stacks with the Giant's gloves. I guess we'll find out here. Oh yeah, also Kraken's here. Some people were asking, like, in terms of the voice that I used for the Kraken, it was just a silly, oh, I'm gonna try and do an underwater voice. But, okay, that hurt a lot more than I expected. That was with Protect, too. But some people were thinking that, oh, wouldn't it be better to do, like, a Davy Jones voice from Pirates of the Caribbean? And I was like, actually, that does kind of make sense. That never really occurred to me in the moment. I have Courage. I don't think I even have Curaga, do I? Doesn't seem like it. Well, I suppose I can do that, but, and then I guess I can Temper Cetro. But, I guess ow. I guess I'm not going to Temper Cetro. But yeah, a reason, for me not doing that is that, and I guess I have an opportunity to try out Full Life here, but, is that I cannot pin down Davy Jones's accent at all. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. It's just sometimes it's vaguely Scottish, and sometimes it isn't, and sometimes it's a generic pirate accent, and sometimes it isn't. It's a very weird accent. And Bill Nye is otherwise a really good actor, so I'm not really sure what happened there. But anyway, Kraken is down. Kraken shall be released no longer. And here it looks like also we can quite easily head to the next stairs, but okay. There might be something worthwhile and optional on this floor, though. So let's go and see if we can find that. I wonder if we will actually, be... I suppose I can use Diaga here. I think you guys are weak to fire too, so maybe I could try a Fire Aga. Now my guess is the Vampire Lord, yeah, he's dead, okay. Because I was like, oh, this might be an opportunity to actually see what the Vampire Lord can do, but no. No, he just instantly died to Excalibur. Which, like, to be honest, I'm not really sure how I feel about this game's ultimate weapon just being Excalibur. It's just, like, I feel like they could have tried to come up with their own kind of mythological weapon, rather than just using a legendary weapon from actual mythology and just calling it the same thing. Speaking of Excalibur, though, I recently found out, like, there's a weapon in Trails in the Sky SC that is actually named after the Welsh name of Excalibur. It's one of Chloe's rapiers, I think, and I'm pretty sure I was pronouncing it wrong, and, like, I know a lot of people pronounce this wrong, and it is kind of a bit of a berserk button, because, yeah, a lot of people get Welsh wrong, and there are a lot of, like, how to pronounce, this online about it that are totally wrong. This thing's pretty defensive, actually. It is red. It looks like Caldal Witch, but, according to, according to most sources, it's pronounced Khaled Voch. Like, something like that, like Khaled Voch. I was wondering when we get that. I knew the Masamune was in this game. It's better than Excalibur. That is not what I was expecting. How fitting that I was talking about Excalibur then. Now, I don't know if Excalibur's effectiveness against all weapons actually does make it better in some... Oh, and everybody can use it too. What was I saying about, oh yeah, I wish everyone could use Excalibur, but there is a weapon everyone can use, and it's... That is interesting, okay. But I'm assuming that... Oh, I don't know. He's probably gonna do more. I'll try that, but I'm guessing he'll be doing more with his bare fist. I'm kind of tempted to put that on, like, honestly, as sad as it sounds, I'm tempted to put that on Teal, because Teal's magic is not the best. Okay, well, that's gonna be... Please don't... Okay, thank you. 800-ish. It does seem to be roughly around the same level of damage that he's doing with Yeah, that was probably a crit or something with his fists. Maybe even less, so... I'll try one encounter against, hopefully, enemies that are not made of iron. I said against enemies that are not made of iron. It's doing, like, around that 800 mark to basically everything. But again, those are a specific type of enemy, so would you please appear enemies that are... Okay, there we go. That's probably going to be better. Let's see how much damage I do to vampires. Unless the vampires just brutally murder us. Oh no, you silenced Cetro. Whatever will I do? Yeah, I think he's probably better off with his bare fists. They also all regenerate. Let's see. Diaga. How about Thundaga? That one vampire is like, I didn't sign up for this! I wanted to be in a paranormal romance story! Okay, so yeah, taking that off Duncan now. And let's see... That's not a huge amount of power. But it's better than what they had before, so... It'll at least give you something to do when you're not casting spells, and that's probably going to be useful. And I think I just saw out of the corner of my eye a green orb. So Vampire Lords do have some dangerous attacks, and they do hit decently hard, but of course, so do we. Yeah, I definitely feel like Duncan's better with his bare fist than the Masamune. Okay, yeah, that is definitely a big improvement to mages who would otherwise not be able to do a lot of damage when not casting spells. So, hey, I kind of got my wish about a legendary weapon that anyone can use. It is still, like, it's kind of funny how this game it's another tradition that originated in this game. It's what TV Tropes calls penultimate weapon, where you get, like, the ultimate weapon, and it's like, oh, the ultimate sword of ultimate awesomeness that is the best weapon in the world, and only the chosen may wield, and it is a legendary sword that is the only thing capable of defeating the ultimate evil, and then you find, like, another sword and one dungeon later that's better. Yeah, that's kind of a thing that happens, unfortunately, in a lot of games. I just realized something, though. Okay, Terra. Right. Now that you can actually attack decently, physically, I didn't buy Saber. I did not buy Saber, dang it. Just like, aha! Big brain strats. I can use Saber on my Black Mage, now that my Black Mage has an actual sword, and then I didn't buy Saber because I'm like, oh, I'll never need to buy Saber because Black Mages don't do any attacking at all. I mean, you know, in my defense, I obviously had no idea that, I'm gonna go for a heal. I think, can I maybe use a heal Arga here, but in my defense, I did not know that, that the Masamune would be usable by everyone. In fact, it was the last weapon that I expected to be usable by everyone. If, of all things, I kind of expected Excalibur to be the one, because, again, that's the weapon that you need to find the legendary ore to get. But, I mean, I suppose this one requires you to go out of your way during the final dungeon, whereas Excalibur just requires you to, get something that's, admittedly also requires you to go out of your way during a late-game dungeon, but, not nearly as out of your way as this one. It's still pretty close to the main path, I feel. How much damage is that doing? I am definitely feeling the lack of haste here. Boss fights go by a lot slower without it. Oh, it would have been amazing if that 4 damage was what did it. Yeah, Tiamat actually does have quite a lot of health in this state. Not really hurting for HP, though. Maybe I should go for a Holy... And I suppose Flare, of course, knowing me, she's going to die to this next attack. No? Okay, then. It's also more heads than I'm used to seeing Tiamat be depicted with. If this does it, then Tiamat will have died to Flare both times. Oh, no. That would have been really, really fitting. Wow, okay, you have a lot of health. Or just, you know, my lack of haste is... I'm really feeling the lack of haste. My lack of haste is... I'm really feeling the lack of haste. Ice Storm. Is that better or worse than Blizzara? It's significantly worse, okay. Still not down. There she goes, okay, right. That was actually, that gave me a bit of a challenge, but again, I'm conserving my hastes. Because I'm going to need to start using, I should probably use my elixirs, honestly. Because I get the feeling that we're approaching... Oh boy, yeah, this floor looks pretty final. Yep, this looks very final. Right, let me see... I mean, I've got like 50 of these, no reason not to run through all of them. And then, where are the ethers? This music does not... Oh yeah, I bought a whole ton of ethers. It's only 1 MP for each level, though. Okay, yeah, let's fully restore you. Let's get you back up to... Wow, look at all those 9s. Both of you are basically on all 9s. And let's get Duncan's spell charges back up. Now, I wonder what kind of enemies show up here on this last Chaos Shrine floor. Death Knights and Nightmares. Snort. And yep, there's Flare. Which actually does hit pretty hard. Nightmares are apparently from D&D. It's just kind of funny how they look like, well, possibly Galarian, Ponyta, and Rapidash, but Seasoned Hero. I'm assuming that means that you got the entire party to level 50, and that came at an incredibly fitting time if this really... Yep, this is it. This should be it. See, normally it would be kind of a dramatic sort of wham shot to open the door and to see Garland there. But, of course, it's pretty obvious to most people now. It's one of those open secrets in RPGs. So, I was originally gonna just try and get the whole party to the same level, but you know what? We're all level 50. That's pretty perfect. So, with that, I will pick things up next time where we end this. So, see you all then.